What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. I'm broadcasting from Dallas, the city of Dallas, in the state of Texas right now. And with me today, we have the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned, LeonFu.com, the great oracle of crypto.
Yo,
Okay.
I love the intro, man.
The Chuck Norris of crypto.
Hey guys.
The Chuck Norris of crypto, and an all-around good guy.
There we
He's
go.
helped us. He's helped a bunch of us become millionaires, man. So I gotta give him credit, you know. So hey, where are you broadcasting from today, Leon?
Right now I'm back at home in Austin, Texas.
Okay, and then with us today also, we have a very special guest, right? We have Peter Saddington, right? Say hello, Peter, to our audience.
Hey guys,
Right.
glad to be here. Glad to be with Ty Zen and the Grandmaster Chuck Norris, Leon, who's made apparently many people millionaires. So it's good to be here, guys. And actually, you guys are both in two of my favorite towns. I travel to Dallas, and I have family in Austin. So those are the two best places in the world for me, other than Atlanta. So I need to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, I agree. Every time I try to leave Austin, I come back. I mean.
So what are you broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia, right now?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, from my little office.
Okay. And what part of Atlanta are you in? North, south?
I am in the north, so I'm about a good 20, 25 miles outside of the city. So when people say, yeah, well, north, yeah, actually, I'm in a little city called Norcross. So my wife and I have built a house up here. We like kind of being away from the crowds and stuff like that.
Okay, cool deal. That's where like the huge Asian community is in Norcross. I was kind of shocked. I almost ended up buying a house there, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, man, because I'm glad I moved back to Dallas. Atlanta's not for me, man. Too many trees. If you watch all my Atlanta videos, I keep saying there's just too many trees around here, man.
What's wrong with trees? They're making us oxygen, man. It's good. There's
nothing wrong with it if you're a tree hugger and you're a tree lover, but I prefer more of the rolling hills and desert landscape. I prefer the Southern California landscape.
I see. You
so,
like the dry heat. You don't like the humid heat, then.
No. It's not even the humid heat.
He likes
it's just
palm trees, I think.
Yeah, I like palm trees. I like the palm tree look better. So
there you go.
So hey, I brought you on the show because I was doing some research on getting a supercar, Lamborghini or Ferrari, with some cryptocurrencies, and I ran across your channel. And I had run across your channel several times before. You got like thousands of subscribers on your channel. So and you got some good information that you put out there. So Leon and I were thinking about getting some supercars for our channel, to help brand our channel.
Do it, man. Do it. I mean, I have so many great conversations with people about, I've been into exotic supercars my entire life. So I have a huge network of people that have bought supercars, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Ferraris, Porsches, these types of things. So for me to bring this part of my life into, or kind of combining Bitcoin and supercars, is it's a natural evolution of sorts, and I've had great conversations with people about it. Yeah, so do it. As a car enthusiast,
I had a Maserati for a few years, and know what you mean. Like Ty, we took my Maserati to the first Texas Bitcoin conference, and that was in 2014. Yeah, and I think that was the first time Ty realized that. Hey, these things actually are interesting. Something we get from art.
We made we were the first. We started broadcasting about cryptocurrency investing back like over 4 years ago, and everyone thinks we were nuts talking about NXT and a bunch of other stuff. Like we had one client who said, "Man, you got some balls to be talking about investing in crypto back 4 years ago." Especially altcoins, of all things, altcoins. But we broadcasted the first video, in a supercar in Leon's Maserati back then, and we went to the Texas Bitcoin conference, and everybody's like, "Hey, you guys are the ones who broadcast about cryptocurrency investing out of the Maserati, And Leon, I was like, "Man, how the hell do they know that we're in a Maserati?" We actually went through all our videos. And said, "How the hell do they know we're in a Maserati?" we went in there because my kids were screaming and hollering inside the house, and I had to get outside, and we had to find a quiet spot, and we went out to his car and shot the videos out there, and we had no clue that in one of the videos, Leon moved his head just slightly. I mean, I'm talking about like maybe that much, and the Maserati logo was like right behind his head, because we were walking through the Texas Bitcoin conference, like, how the hell do they know we're in a Maserati?
People know what's up. People are watching, man. People are watching.
But it was like, maybe it was like the stitching, behind his head was like, I swear, it was like that much, and they caught wind of it, so. And then later on, we ran a contest, every time we were in a different car, we'd run a contest, and give out cryptos, for people who guessed what car we were in. And when he got his Tesla, we were in Leon's Tesla, and I swear, how the hell they knew it, one guy knew the exact model and the battery size that he had.
There are car enthusiasts are just like crypto enthusiasts. They're crazy detailed, and it's an all-consuming passion for them. The difference between car enthusiasts and crypto enthusiasts is car enthusiasts often last a lifetime, whereas crypto enthusiasts usually last about 2 weeks before they're burned out and they quit.
Yeah. This is really hard. You talk about a serious car enthusiast. We had a coaching client that came to our cryptocurrency investing boot camp. This pharmacist, he said that in one of my videos, I purposely put the camera so it only shows me, and not, and out the window. And he says, you're driving a so-and-so Toyota Sienna. And I'm like, how the hell do you know that? How the hell do you know that?
You got the daddy van.
And he goes, yeah, because in when you move your head, the airbags where it comes out, that's only on Toyotas. I'm like, dude, how? I'm like, now I'm afraid to even show anything in my car. Like, well,
you can't fake out car guys. Whenever I do car videos, and I've said things on previous videos about cars where I got the car model wrong or I said something wrong, and the internet comments like, oh, you got this wrong. It's actually an LP 610. It's not an LP 580. What's wrong with you? You're not a car dude. It's like, sorry, sorry.
So, hey, let's get Leon's limited on time. He's got to run to a doctor's appointment here. He's got a child. He's expecting his first child at the end of the year. So
congratulations. Welcome to the suck.
Yeah, beginning of next year.
Yeah. We might not see him on the channel anymore after his kid comes, But, hey, this is a cryptocurrency investing channel where we talk about how to make life-changing money in crypto, and you got you a Lamborghini with your Bitcoin, so that's definitely life-changing. So our audience is going to want to know how you did that, and and you can share some tidbits with them. Let's start off by what's your background, man? Are you an engineer? Are you a software? Are you a doctor, or what, man? You're Asian. What's your ethnicity?
I think we can all agree that I'm Asian. That's for sure. So I was born in Korea. I was imported just like a car. I was imported over to America at a young age. I am a software engineer, so I got an undergrad in computer engineering at Florida State, and then I have 3 master's degrees in the social sciences. And so I was trained as a scientist, a data scientist. I have a master's in counseling and organizational behavior, a master's in education and cognitive learning theory, and a master's in divinity, focusing on apologetics and religion. So I spent a lot of time in the educational world, but all of my professional life has been in startups. So I've built 12 startups. 10 of them have failed epically, and then 2 of them have been privately acquired, which has availed me the opportunity to buy supercars and exotic cars, and so that's a big passion of mine. So I've been in startups, bleeding edge technology, as an entrepreneur and also as a consultant. I've published 2 books on software development. The last one was in 2012 with John Wiley and Sons. And so I travel all over the world consulting with large organizations on how to help them build better products and services. So that's the quick recap of my background. Yeah.
So basically, to just summarize that quick recap, you're one of those real Asians. No, not like LeonFood.com, not like me, can't pass a simple algebra test,
Well, actually, technically,
we went to 5 different high schools and never passed, Still didn't get a high school degree.
Technically not a true Asian because I didn't become a doctor or a lawyer or like a,
You have 3 college degrees, man. I don't even have a high school degree.
It's all good. I didn't become a doctor. I ended up becoming a scientist, which is kind of a lower tier of Asian acceptability.
Yeah.
So since I didn't become a lawyer or a doctor, I became a scientist and focused on that. So I'm still a disappointment to my parents, probably like you guys are.
The village is not happy. I know the village is not happy in Vietnam where I come from, and they're like, every time when
you went to America and you didn't get a degree. What's wrong with you?
I'm like, I'm retired. Like, yeah, but what degree do you have? Like, who cares?
Absolutely. So I went the long educational route. Yeah.
So, with all that education and scientific background and everything, when and where did you first hear about Bitcoin?
Great question. So I say this in all my interviews, is that I just got lucky. In October of 2011, I saw an Ars Technica article about the kind of implosion of Bitcoin from the hack that happened previously in June. And so Bitcoin went just down, and this Ars Technica article was talking about, is Bitcoin going to die? Is it something that's still worthwhile? So I read this article in October of 2011, and then it took me about a month to do research because I'm pretty slow. I'm a research scientist, so it takes me a lot of time to collect data. So it took me about a month to collect a lot of data, understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin and blockchain technology.
Well, you said 4 college degrees, 3 or 4 college degrees, and you say you're slow? I must be a freaking dumbass then.
Oh, no, it's just I'm very methodical with my research. So I had screens up, I had Excel sheets and looking at all the code as an engineer, and it took me about a month. And then in November of 2011, I finally took the plunge. I bought a lot of Bitcoin at $2.52, and I've been hodling that shit ever since. So I really just got lucky. It's not something I was looking for. It just kind of came to me, and being kind of a technologist and entrepreneur, I said, hey, this is a really good idea. I don't know if it's actually going to be worth anything, but at $2.52, I can afford to purchase a lot of it. So that's what I ended up doing, and ended up obviously doing pretty well for myself now that Bitcoin's getting close to 6,000 per coin.
Was it tough letting go a few of those Bitcoins to get the Lambo?
People... I've owned these cars before. If you look back at my channel and see my garage, you'll see I've owned a lot of these types of cars, Porsches, Lambos, these types of things. So for me, it was more like, this is an opportunity to buy the world first Lamborghini Huracan with Bitcoin. I know it's not the first Lamborghini ever purchased, but I believe it's the first Lamborghini Huracan. So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to use that as a mechanism to market. And just this last Sunday, I went to the largest car show in the Southeast, Caffeine and Exotics, and I brought the Bitcoin Lamborghini and had, decals all over it. And it was awesome. I got to speak to a lot of different people about the value of Bitcoin, tell them that, hey, this is something that's not going away. And so, the mission and vision of my life is to spread Bitcoin and blockchain to everyone that I know. And so
now let me ask you a car question, Peter.
Sure.
Did you cross-shop the Huracan with Ferraris or McLarens? Why did you decide on the Huracan? The Lambo Huracan. Did you look at the Ferrari 488 or the McLaren 570 or the new 720S?
Absolutely. I did shop around. I'm not a big Ferrari fan. I love the way the 458 looks.
It's
not
beautiful.
That's not like the 488.
From my art teaching background, I think the Ferrari 458 is one of the most beautifully designed cars.
But I can see you Ty buying a Ferrari. Like Ferraris just
I see that too. I see that too.
They don't have like the visceral experience that I enjoy. I like a tough, visceral, lots of driver involvement.
No. I can see that the Huracan fits your beefy, muscular, Korean muscle, Korean barbecue beefcake look,
I know that. So, Korean barbecue guy. So
nothing gay and none, okay? Just making an observation.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't care. So I did cross shop. I'm not a big fan of the McLarens because my friends went on a big road trip. And they had 3 McLaren 570Ss with them. And as they were driving, this was moving down towards Miami. As they were driving down towards Miami, all 3 of them hit about 170 to 190 miles per hour. And at 170 to 190 miles per hour, all the 3 McLarens, their side intakes started flying off. It's a manufacturer flaw. And so they were all like, they were driving and like the side things were just breaking off and flying off, and one actually flew off and hit a GTR, Nissan GTR behind them. And so I was really interested in getting a McLaren with Bitcoin, but after my friend showed me the pictures and the video, all these McLarens braking at high speeds.
That's not good.
I was like,
well, that's obviously a warranty issue, right? McLaren's going to cover that.
McLaren said that they're not interested in it, from what I heard from my friend. So they're going through proceedings right now as a manufacturer flaw.
Huge PR nightmare if they don't take care of that.
That's not good either, especially when 3 of them in a row do that consecutively at the same time.
I could show you guys pictures. All 3 of them, this front side skirts just started flying off. It's crazy.
I mean,
crazy.
that means that they never even took their car on the track and tested it at high mileage just to see what it does. That's not. But you know, I was supposed to go to college.
I'm very surprised that they wouldn't test that, because McLaren's is Ferrari's rival, and that's something every car manufacturer would test. I mean,
you'd think they probably tested in a controlled environment.
Yeah, like I was supposed to go to college for mechanical engineering if I got that far, but but from a mechanical engineer's perspective, if I was building a supercar, I would max it out like multiple times just to make sure on different ones. The fact that 3 of them have that problem, that's not in my opinion, a good sign.
For me coming from a scientific perspective and a data perspective, that's enough data for me to inform my decisions that I will not get a 570S.
Yeah, see, I told you, Leon. I told you. Didn't I tell you not to get the McLaren? Right? Right? Now, hey, look, I will say this. We were actually in Atlanta shooting the Privacy Coin video series and documentary that we did in Atlanta, in downtown Atlanta. And we actually stopped at Leon actually stopped at, and he was going to get which Ferrari was it that you were going to get at the Roswell Ferrari dealership?
There was either a California or I forgot.
The one that you said that was the collector's edition.
Oh yeah. So there was something called the 590 not the 5 the TDF edition. Of the Ferrari Cruiser.
He was literally going to get that in Roswell, Georgia, in North Atlanta, and drive it back to Austin, Texas. And I was like, no, we're here to shoot some Privacy Coin videos. Your ass is going to focus on shooting these videos instead of going. You're not here to shop for.
That's a great dealership. That's where I bought my Lamborghinis. So I know them well.
Yeah. So they probably thought he was nuts or something, and didn't know that, they probably see this video later on, and the sales guy will probably shit in his pants.
Actually, what interested me was actually these supercars. If you buy Ferrari, McLaren, Lamborghini, they make these collector's editions, and those are actually considerably good investments, because like the TDF that I was looking at, it was $500,000 new, and now it's in a couple of years it's worth like over $1 million in 2 years.
Absolutely.
And same thing with the Porsche 918. That if you were able to get that for about $900,000.
Man, I could tell you a story, man. I was on the list to get a 918 when it first came out, and I was allocated a spot. However, that's not true. I was somewhat allocated a spot through a connection who said that they could allocate the spot for me if I had put down the money. But at the time, I was like, I don't want to put down the amount of money that I wanted to put down. But obviously, I regret it now, because these things are selling used for like over $2 million now.
That's right. It's over
crazy.
$2 million.
Crazy.
So really, one thing, we talk about diversification, and since we all love cars here, is maybe, when our portfolio gets to that size, we could clip some out and go for one of these collectors. If somebody can, I think to get one of those, you can't just have money. You have to have some type of connection, or you might have to own like 4 Ferraris. Like you might be able to, since you've owned multiple of these kinds of cars, you might be able to. You're probably better connected than we are to
100%. You see my garage. Look at this, my garage.
That's right.
What's funny? What's funny is this, man, is that they probably regret not making a better effort with Leon when he walked into the dealership.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's my home garage.
Would you get? Do you think the Bugatti Chiron or Chiron, I think the new one that replaced the Veyron. Do you think that would be a good investment at 2 million euros or $2 million, I think it is? Do you think that will go up over time? Why is that? The Veyron did very well.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. The Veyrons have found themselves to be, let's just say, very expensive to maintain, very expensive to own. And they require really, really expensive parts and expensive servicing. I mean,
no one actually drops them. They keep them as they keep them as. Well, okay, so there's one guy in Beverly Hills that drives it to work every day on Rodeo Drive, but the majority of these cars is artwork, right? I don't think they're not. Most people are not Top Gear where they're taking it out to the track and trying to see how fast it goes, right?
Right. But that's that's where I come from. I drive these cars every bloody day. And so for me, I don't understand it because I know a lot of guys and I go over to their houses, they got beautiful cars, and it is always fascinating to me when I'm talking with a guy and he's saying, "Oh man, this Ferrari, F-Type, man, I only put 150 miles on it this year." I'm like, why own it? Why own
it? Leon was driving his Maserati from Austin, Texas to California back and forth almost all the time. Like he put thousands of miles on his Maserati, man.
Yesterday, my wife took one of my Lamborghinis to drop off my kids at school. I just put miles on them. They're meant to be driven. Yeah. They're well-built cars. I wouldn't say maybe a Bugatti, but I would never own a Bugatti. But I mean, if you buy an expensive, nice car, drive the shit out of it. That's the point.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
no, I agree.
Hey, let's get back to our audience is probably going to get wonder when we get to your secrets, but to your investing secrets, right? Hey, so what's when you got into Bitcoin, man? What got you to start the vlogging, making videos about Bitcoin investing and cryptocurrency investing?
Great question. So last year, probably about this time, I was getting to. For me personally, so this is just me personally. For me at the time, I had reached what I had felt is the pinnacle of the success within the vertical that I was in. I was doing large organizational design consulting engagements, helping business units of 6,000 people move to agile software development, Scrum development. I've trained over 16,000 people around the world in software development and better startup practices. I've authored 2 books, and so. For me personally, I had reached the highest echelon that I felt was necessary for me to feel fulfilled in life and challenged in life, and started a lot of startups and all that stuff. And so last year, I really got into saying, hey, I really love this Bitcoin. I really love blockchain. I'm a developer. So much of this stuff that is being built, I can build myself. I can build my own coin. I can build the Bitcoin pub that we've already built. I can build mobile apps in iOS and Android. And so I said, hey, let's see if we can change my life 100%. Quit the consulting, quit the book tours, quit all that stuff, quit going around internationally. I actually posted a video of my last trip to Switzerland a couple months ago, consulting with a company out there. And I said, hey, can I completely shift and change my life to an online mechanism like YouTube and video? And so I started running the experiment earlier this year. I pivoted, failed, changed, learned, executed, failed again. And finally, I came upon talking about Bitcoin was something that the current economy and the current market was, they were interested in. Mm-hmm. And so it worked out because I've been in it for a long time, and I'm not an expert in it. I'm just a retail investor like most people, and I certainly don't give out financial advice, but I do a lot of research. And so I found that there's a particular niche within the cryptocurrency market that enjoys watching people like me. Now, every YouTuber, you guys as well, have different niches, and I find that to be one of the most promising things about cryptocurrency is that there is no competition. I find it fascinating when other crypto YouTubers or crypto media content creators look at us, look at you, Ty, look at you, Leon, as competition. There is no competition in this marketplace.
No.
You guys want to.
We like every year, like we bring on new and upcoming channels because we know how like sometimes it could be hard getting started, but the channels that we see, obviously you got your channel has thousands of viewers already, so you don't need help, but like there's new channels that only have 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers. Yeah. We bring them on and just to bring the spotlight to them. to help them grow their channel, because we know how it is when you first start out. Nobody wants to help you know, like, hey, I got thousands of subscribers, you only got a few hundred, I don't want to talk to you, And we think that's just a bunch of bullshit, So
that's immaturity. Yeah. I mean, Ty, you have kids. Yeah. Leon, you're about to have kids. I mean, I have 2 kids. I've been married for a while. I mean, we are grown men. Okay, we've been through business. We understand that if you carve out your niche and you focus on your niche and you do it fucking well, then you'll make great money. You'll impact lots of lives. You can influence great people. And so when I find these younger bucks, this young blood coming into the market, they're always like, hey, I see you as competition. Why? You're not doing what I'm doing. I promote 2 things. I promote Bitcoin and blockchain, and I promote cryptocurrency lifestyle, what I call a blockchain designed life. That's all I want to show, is that you can have a balanced, healthy, wealthy, and purpose-driven life in cryptocurrency. I'm not here talking about stocks and trading like other YouTubers. I'm not here just reading the news like other YouTubers. I'm not here talking about conspiracies or debunking shit. You guys have your niche, and you guys have been quite successful at it. I'm not eating your your lunch here. There's plenty to go around. And that's what I love about these collaborations.
They just raised, all the cryptocurrency ICOs just raised over like, what, $3 billion this year alone? There's plenty of room. The pie is big enough for everyone.
Yes.
There's
the pie is big enough for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's what when you reached out to me, Ty, and I did some research on you guys, I was like, I'm going to have a fun time talking to them, number one. But number two, these guys are real men. These guys are men who've been through shit. They have kids. They deal with real life. Yeah. Whereas some of these other YouTubers that I've talked to, they're like children. They're like, 20, 22 years old, and it's there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing that we have in common, because they don't have kids. They haven't been through life. They haven't failed. They just got out of college. It's a different story,
Yeah. So let's talk about your approach on cryptocurrency investing and trading and stuff. Like our team, like you said, our niche is that we are we're a trading and investing channel. Like, we don't try to be a technology channel. We're not a philosophy channel. We're not out there to preach that the U.S. dollar, Bitcoin's going to take over the U.S. dollar. We're here to make life-changing money. That's our theme at our channel.
I love it.
So, like, what is your approach? Like, we bring you on because we want to share your approach with our audience. Like, what is your approach? Like, our approach is we come from a traditional world of trading stocks, options, forex, futures. So when we come into the crypto world, right, we apply those same risk management, money management, strategies into the crypto world. Like, absolutely. You have a background in startups and a scientific background. What is your approach to investing in cryptocurrencies?
That's a great question. My approach is not sexy. It's not fun, and it's not going to be a huge moneymaker. I have focused for the last 4 years or so. So I really got focused on Bitcoin in 2014 when it hit about 200, 250, because between 2011 and 2014, I was holding on to this Bitcoin, but I was like, what is he going to do? And so I finally really woke up around 2014. So since 2014 to now, that's when I've been really heavily involved with Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And my approach is just cost averaging over time. It's so unsexy. It's not going to make you a shit ton of money like jumping into an ICO, but having done the math as a scientist, just focusing on Bitcoin, I know that the economics around Bitcoin, the $21 million cap, simple supply and demand economics, as Bitcoin rises in price, it's like a lot of the market psychology is going to affect people's view of it and say, hey, it's going up. I want to keep it as a store of value. As that supply decreases, demand will go up, and therefore the price will continue to go up. And so for me, Bitcoin being based on mathematical principles that I can well understand tells me enough that, hey, if you dollar cost average, or you cost average into Bitcoin just weekly, and that's what I tell my channel. It's like every Friday, I've done the math, and actually we can show that on the bitcoin.pub, all my data set, that I've researched all the days, the best days to invest. The best day is Friday, period, bar none. Second day, Wednesday. From all the data aggregation that I've done, I just smash money into Litecoin. I smash money into Bitcoin every Friday.
Okay, so just for the audience that's outside the U.S. and they may not know what you mean when you say smash money into these, that means you're putting money into those coins.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
And, okay, so
just Bitcoin and Litecoin or Ethereum, like what are you buying? What are you dollar cost averaging into?
Right now, I'm only cost averaging into Bitcoin and Litecoin.
And what's
Not
your
even
views
Ether.
on
Like,
not even
even Ethers? No.
No.
oh,
I don't.
okay.
I don't invest in Ethereum.
Why Litecoin then? Why not Ripple or?
Hold on. Let's not. The audience is going to want to know why he's not investing in Ethereum.
Yeah.
So we need to give him time to
Yeah.
respond to that. That's a huge. If you're in crypto, man, for someone to say they're not gonna,
why Litecoin over Ethereum? Yeah.
we have to spend some time on this here, Peter.
I don't mind talking about it. Actually, this will actually be the first time that I really talk about it on video. I've talked about it in forums and Bitcoin Talk and the Bitcoin Pub.
Okay, so let the record reflect that this is Peter's
the first time.
official statement on why he doesn't like Ethereum, to invest in Ethereum at the moment. It could change in the future, but at this moment.
I used to be heavily invested in Ethereum until the DAO happened last year in December. When the DAO happened in December, I lost all confidence in Ethereum based on Vitalik Buterin's decision to centralize control. For me, that's a philosophical imperative that does not sit well with me. For me, it is anti-decentralization, it is anti-self-organization, and it reeks of central authority. I'm a free market capitalist. So for me, what that essentially means is that I want the market to decide. If you create an ICO, you create a new coin, great, fucking do it. If the market thinks it's a terrible idea, the market will respond with their dollar and they won't invest.
Yeah.
What we had with the DAO with Vitalik Buterin last year is that we had this hack. That's life. You invested in a centralized exchange. You got hacked, and he decided to play bankster. He decided, hey, everyone lost their money. I'll give you your money back. No worry. FDIC insured. It's like, whoa. You can't do that. This is a decentralized system. You are acting like a centralized banking authority.
So I got two questions, Peter, about that. The first question is, what do you think of Ether Classic, who was formed because of the DAO? That's my first question. And the second question is, had Vitalik not bailed out the DAO, you got to remember, like 80% or some ridiculous percentage of the ethers went into the DAO, right? If had he not done that, would Ethereum have collapsed?
Yes, and I think it should have. I think we should have allowed the market to respond appropriately to that. And
okay, so if you're Vitalik, if let's say you were Vitalik, and you had these two choices where you're philosophically opposed to bailouts, which I think we all agree on, but if you don't do that, your baby dies.
Well, see, I've built lots of startups. All of my babies have died. And I'm used to failure. Here's the thing. I think you and I, all of us can agree that we learn best through failure. Fair enough?
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And so the problem is if what Vitalik did to the community, he did not let the market learn from these terrible mistakes. The only reason I've been successful in Bitcoin, the only reason I've been successful as an entrepreneur is because I execute faster than everyone I know, so that I can fail faster than everyone I know, so that I can make better informed decisions.
So you're the opinion that if you think Vitalik should have left a project he had put all his effort in fail, even though he had the power to save it.
For me, I can't speak to what what's going on in his mind. I have gone through experiences in my startups where I could inject my own capital into something. I could save that startup that failed. But for me, it was never worth that for me. It was a philosophical consideration. It's like, hey, I need to learn from this instead of continuing to pump money into something that was a terrible decision. I need to learn from this. I need to gain experience from this, and to soothe it over with the Band-Aid, it would not have been the best decision. So I'm just coming from my heuristics as an entrepreneur and realizing through many years that failure really is the best way to succeed. And
then what do you think of the Ether Classic then?
I think Ether Classic is what Ethereum was originally substantiated to be. And so I have a position in Ether Classic philosophically, obviously. And so Ether Classic is something that I've enjoyed seeing move up, especially because Asia and there's Koreans and Chinese who are buying them up. And so for me, Ether Classic is kind of a stake that I have for me personally that says, hey, this is something that I believed in. I invested in a lot of Ethereum previously. When we had the DAO hack, I moved all my money to Ethereum Classic instead. So it was a philosophical issue. Now, number two, I think this is very important. And this is coming from a developer background. Ethereum is a protocol, right? That has an application layer above the protocol. This is tomfoolery in my opinion. This is completely foolish. Coming from a developer standpoint, having an application layer on a protocol is like having an application layer on your pen. Why the hell would you put an application layer on your pen? If you have an application layer on your pen, all you do is invite a huge attack surface to be hacked. And so for me as a developer, why would I want to create an attack surface on a protocol that doesn't need an attack surface? And so for me, what you're going to see for the lifetime of Ethereum is constant hacking, constant attacks to it that are going to continue to help hopefully improve the robustness and the rigor of the code. But the fact of the matter is, as an engineer developer, no code is immune forever. And so since we have this thing called Ethereum with an application layer with attack surface, it's going to constantly be attacked. It's going to constantly be, trying to be taken over, whereas Bitcoin doesn't have that. Bitcoin doesn't have an application layer above its protocol, which is why I'm heavily invested in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin cannot be hacked unless there's some huge conspiracy to throw 51% in.
If that's your view, where do you think the smart contract layer should be if it's not on the protocol?
So far, smart contracts have proven to be almost nothing except an application layer for launching ICOs. And so as the ICOs will continue to slow down in Ethereum and start picking up in other protocols like Neo, maybe even like Icon out in Korea, we're going to see different permutations of this grow. And so for me, I'm getting a little serious here because this is a big thing philosophically for me. For me, Ethereum, I think, if we want to dumb it down to pure nuts and bolts, if the only current market proposition that Ethereum has is that it's a great platform for launching ICOs. Without ICOs, the platform wouldn't have any viability in the market. And so what I am looking forward to is an Ethereum, let's say, fork of sorts. An Ethereum fork of some other platform like Ethereum that can be considered US-based, right? Because we have Neos, China, Icons, Korea, Ubiq is, out in the UK. And so we have different protocols that represent different market demographics. So Ethereum kind of focuses on the American, North America, South America market. And so what I'm looking for is maybe people, with Dan Larimer was supposed to build it with EOS, right?
EOS.
But EOS is just constantly just doing.
But do you believe the whole idea of smart contracts was being able to execute uncensorable code, right? That we would be able to write code, just like Bitcoin is censorship resistant,
right?
That a smart contract layer, anybody would be able to write code that would execute in a censorship resistant way. I think that's and so far up until now, the only application, as you pointed out, seems to be ICOs. But do you envision an application in the future where having being able to execute censorship-resistant code, which is what Ethereum is able to do, and I say that censorship is resistant because even when Vitalik himself forked Ethereum, he couldn't completely fork it, right? That's why we have Ether Classic.
I know. He didn't do a good job, guys. He didn't do a good job.
So don't you think that has some value, that Ether
Yes.
or Ether Classic
Yes.
has? Yes.
The short answer is yes. However, I haven't seen it yet. And so as a data scientist, I don't make decisions based on limited amounts of data, right? If your data set is small, therefore your deviations will be large, and therefore in many ways your conclusions mean nothing. And so for me, there hasn't been enough substantial data to prove that smart contracts works outside the realm of simply launching ICOs. When I see more proof of concepts being built for the Ethereum platform that are not just ICO related, then I'll start collecting that data and saying, hey, is this something that's going to be viable?
Our philosophy, at least I'll speak to myself. My philosophy is that even though I don't see it today, as an investor, I'm anticipating. Just like when I invested in an ICO, in the Ethereum ICO back in 2014, I didn't really know what the smart contract was going to be.
Right.
I was anticipating that something will emerge in the future, that this is a broad enough concept that being able to execute uncensorable code, although we can't think of what application that would be today outside of ICOs, that something that no one has thought of.
100%. Yeah, and so don't misconstrue my philosophical kind of foundation as being negative towards Ethereum. It just, for me, philosophically, it prohibits me to invest, because I base my investment decisions on principles and not emotions, rationality and logic rather than emotions and principles. So for me, philosophically, I can't invest in that because I feel like he completely centralized control when the whole idea of Bitcoin and blockchain is decentralization. So that's the reason. That's not to say that you can't make great money. That's not to say, with Ethereum, that's not to say that Ethereum could not in the future create new applications for smart contracts. I just haven't seen them yet. All I see is ICOs being built on the ERC20 tokens. And so for me, I haven't seen that proof of concept yet. So to make money, you can make a lot of money with Ethereum, bar none. I have just removed myself from that.
The thing I want to add to what you guys are saying is this. Well, at least you make I believe at least you make at least a quote unquote scientific argument for why you're not into it. It's better than some of these other people that just say that it's a scam and they don't present any argument for why it's a scam. Well, hey, when you say that, it's just your opinion. No, it's not. It's for real. I'm like, no, it's not. It's just your opinion.
Yeah.
But at least you're making a technological argument for it. Okay, so and that's good, because we want our audience to be able to. Yeah.
A philosophical argument. Yeah.
It's a philosophical, but it's also pragmatic, coming from a software developer background. For me, I wouldn't want to expose a protocol with an application layer that hasn't been proven. And so far, what we've seen historically from Ethereum is that the application layer is constantly being hacked, constantly trying to be overtaken. We've seen many occasions where people writing Ethereum contracts are really poor at writing Ethereum contracts. And so we're going to continue to see this pattern within the market until someone comes up with better practices for code development within the Ethereum contract and the Ethereum code bases. And so until that time, I'm staying away from it. But I am invested in Ethereum Classic. That's a philosophical decision.
All right, cool.
And Ethereum Classic made me a lot of money, actually. So
are we. And Leon even said at the beginning of the year, he tweeted out that, based on Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, it's the better bet was to be in Ethereum Classic at the beginning of the year. A lot of people said he was crazy, but then it turned out
that's a good call.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
Well, we don't call him the Oracle of Crypto for nothing.
Well, back and forth. We should. Our view is that we should own both, especially since Ethereum, regardless of what our opinions are, it's kind of become the second reserve crypto after Bitcoin.
100%.
And, it's just widely traded. The liquidity is there, and it's the funding mechanism for many of the ICOs now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I was going to ask you what your 3 favorite crypto...
Hey, guys, I got to run to the doctors here, so I'll catch you guys later. It's good talking to you, Peter.
Yeah. I hope we talk again, man, Leon.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. We will. I'm sure we will. All right. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
So, so I wanted to ask you earlier about... let me see here. I'm trying to get us on both 2 screens here. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so...
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you if in what your 3 favorite cryptos were, but you already answered it. You said Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, right?
Well, that's not necessarily true. It's Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin.
No, and Dogecoin. Yeah. So, but wait a minute. Okay, let's just clarify that. So you had mentioned earlier that you do the dollar cost averaging, right?
Yes.
and you dollar cost average into Bitcoin first, and then Litecoin, and then the other one was what? Was it?
Oh, I only dollar cost average into Bitcoin and Litecoin currently.
Okay. Now, it's interesting that you brought up Dogecoin because we have a scheduled interview coming up with the founder of Dogecoin.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't like me.
He doesn't?
Yeah, he actually blocked me on Twitter. Yeah, because I have been pumping Dogecoin since day one. I mean, what he doesn't realize is that I was one of the first people to stake and one of the first people to invest in Dogecoin because I believed in it so much. And every single video that I produce has the Dogecoin.
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
There's no one in the world that pumps Dogecoin more than I do, but he thinks that I'm, if you look at the history of and I won't say his name, but you're going to interview him, but if you look at the history, I mean, he's kind of anti-cryptocurrency now from what I gather because of the ICO crazes. Maybe he feels a little bit of guilt of supporting that. Who knows? All I know is that I constantly pumped Dogecoin and finally got to a point where he was like, this guy talks about Dogecoin way too much. I'm blocking him. He tweeted out to his followers, don't follow Bite-Sized Bitcoin because he pumps Doge. And I was like, that's too bad, man. I'm your number one. There's no one that could say that they're his number one fan. I am Dogecoin's number one fan. I pump it in every video.
Yeah, you're making him nervous, man.
So I'm really interested to see your interview.
I will ask him. Maybe I'll bring him on. Maybe I can set up a what do you call that?
A three-way.
Maybe
a debate.
Yeah. Maybe I'll host a debate between the two of you guys.
Let's do it. I'd love to talk to them about his coin.
Yeah, Dogecoin founder meets biggest Dogecoin fan. Yes. Dogecoin maximalist. Dogecoin maximalist.
I am a Dogecoin maximalist. I buy Dogecoin every week, even though it makes you zero money, because I just love tipping people and love giving people coins. It's a great coin. It's a tipping coin. That's what it's meant for.
I know that this is gonna sound crazy, bro. This is gonna sound crazy, okay? And people are gonna think that I'm joining you in pumping Dogecoin here when I say this, okay? I know this,
guys. Don't. You're not gonna make any money on Dogecoin, guys.
Yeah, we do our cryptocurrency investing bootcamp, for high-end traders and investors in crypto, and Dogecoin is actually one of the coins that we use to teach them how to execute trades. The reason why is this, because check this out. We tried it with Bitcoin, but it takes forever to confirm. So you can't explain something. It's like, we got to explain a concept on how to execute. We're professional traders, so we're trying to explain a concept of how to execute orders and put in your orders correctly. And then we got to wait several minutes, and we're trying to get this idea across, but we can't convey the message and show how it's done with Bitcoin. Right. So we had to switch to Litecoin on several occasions, and then we had to finally just switch to Dogecoin because it confirmed faster, and we were able to show people, how to break it up into whole numbers and fractions and decimals, and just things that we needed to teach the people, And so
that's the same thing I did. I used Litecoin and Dogecoin as my two mechanisms for showing people how transactions work. Absolutely.
Exactly. Like when we do demos, it kind of sucks because we're trying to tell people how valuable Bitcoin is, but we're using Litecoin and Dogecoin to demo the examples that we're talking about. So now we just bring.
Well, now you can use Bitcoin Cash.
Because the reason why we use Dogecoin is because it allows us to use whole numbers first before we break it down to decimals and into Satoshi so people understand. Because when you try to explain to people okay, this is how you send 100 Satoshis, it's like, why is there 8 decimal places, So it confuses the beginner. So we just go, okay, look, here's 500 Dogecoins. We're going to send everybody 500 Dogecoins, and this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. So, that's what I do because it's great because you can. There are whole numbers. Yeah. And it's in Satoshi, but Dogecoin's at 25 Satoshi right now. Yeah. That is a small enough amount that people can wrap their heads around. It's like, okay, so I have 25 Satoshi of Dogecoin. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. It's much harder to say, well, I have 26,000 Satoshi of a Bitcoin. It's like, whoa, that's too much.
Yeah, it's just too confusing.
Absolutely.
So basically. you got Bitcoin, Litecoin, and then Dogecoin is your 3 favorite cryptocurrencies, and
absolutely.
You know,
I have other diversified, you know, assets, but those are the 3 that I buy consistently for sure.
Okay. And then so can we expect if as many Doge as you have, we can probably expect a Doge a Lambo or a Doge Ferrari coming up.
I could buy a Doge Lambo. You guys have no idea. I could buy a Doge Lambo, for sure.
And then, so what is your advice for new? I mean, you're not a financial advisor, you know, but what would you do if you were a beginner starting out today?
Well, I hate to sound a little self-serving here, but on the Bitcoin.pub, we have a powerful beginner's walkthrough, and it's nothing like yours. I mean, this is very basic. Like, this is what Bitcoin is. This is what an exchange is. This is how you trade. This is what Bittrex is. And so it's very simple, very basic. And for me, that's how I get people into the game.
Can you state out the domain, the correct domain name, so people don't get hit with a phishing website or something like that?
You can go to www.thebitcoin.pub, P-U-B.
Okay.
Thebitcoin.pub.
Okay,
right.
And it's spelled just like you hear it.
Yep, thebitcoin.pub.
Okay, all right. Because we got a really bad habit of not leaving the domain addresses in the description. You know, we always forget. So that's why, you know, moving forward, I just get people to just say it so that when people are
it's all good. It's a free resource that we've built. Ain't nobody getting paid here. It's just like Reddit. So if you're used to Reddit, it's another forum-based application, and people can walk through in their own leisure. For me, again, my vision and my vision of my life in the cryptocurrency market is to spread the good news of Bitcoin and blockchain. That's all I care about, is the more people that get into Bitcoin, the more people that get into blockchain, the more everyone's going to win. I've been severely and significantly blessed in my life, in startups and entrepreneurship, and obviously Bitcoin as well. And I want to share that with the world. So that's my goal right now, is to make sure that, and to be quite honest, Ty, it's a little bit self-serving because, you know, the more people that invest in Bitcoin, the
more we all become wealthier.
I ain't gonna lie there. I'm not gonna lie there.
Well, at least you're honest about it, you know, and that's why I had you on, you know, because I don't mind people wanting to do something and they admit, you know, they clearly state, like, people always tell us all the time about, you know, they disagree with us about cryptocurrency investing, and we make it very clear on our channel that we're here to make life-changing money. We're not here to, quote unquote, change the world. We're here to change the size of our wallet, and when it gets bigger, we are capable of making changes. Like, I can help more people nowadays than I can, you know, 10, 20 years ago when I was flat broke.
Absolutely. And so if you can help other people make money and you can make money through that, there's nothing wrong with that. That is free market capitalism at its best.
So talk about the Bitcoin pub, because that was something that I was going to ask you about. You know, what was the purpose of creating the Bitcoin pub on top of the YouTube channel that you have? And by the way, your YouTube channel is Bite-Size
Bitcoin.
Okay, and it's spelled just like you hear it.
Yeah, Bite-Size Bitcoin. Yeah, Bite-Size Bitcoin. So for me as an engineer, and I think you could probably resonate with this at some level from your context, but as an entrepreneur and technologist, this cryptocurrency is the exact place that I need to be. Lots of money, bleeding edge technology, great people like yourself, Ty, in the community who are pumping crypto. So it's great people, bleeding edge technology, startups, entrepreneurship. It's everything that I want to be. I can build enterprise-grade applications. I can build iPhone apps. I can build mobile apps. I can build my own coin, which I'm looking to do. I'm looking to build my own coin.
Maybe we'll talk about that offline, because maybe we can collaborate on it.
Yo, that pre-mine though, that pre-mine. But yeah, so I mean, I've already created our own test net. I got over about 100 grand worth of mining rigs in my office. We're mining 24/7. So we're going to be using part of that to create our own mainnet for our own coin. I've already forked off of Litecoin as an example. The code isn't hard to build. And so I want to build the infrastructure. I want to build the infrastructure for the cryptocurrency network, the cryptocurrency community. So the Bitcoin Pub is just part of that. Okay. We built this forum. I was a big fan of Reddit. The problem with Reddit is Reddit has become a cesspool of crap. And so I wanted to build something that's better than Reddit, where a close knit of community that loves to help each other out. And so we built the Bitcoin.pub as a place for people just to learn and grow and learn and grow together. That's the kind of the theme of the Bitcoin Pub, is that everyone learns and grows together. So we have some of the nicest people that are building great tutorials, walkthroughs, guides, all for free. Yeah. All for free and all on their own time. It's pure volunteerism. And we're actually the fastest growing crypto social network on the planet. To give you some numbers, on day one, so we've been around for just over 2 months now. On day one we launched, we had 780 people show up. It's not bad. Day two, we had 58,000 people show up. In 20 days, we had served over 1 million people, and in our first 30 days of existence, we had served over 2.2 million people in 30 days. And so we are technically one of the fastest growing cryptocurrency social networks on the planet. And so we want to expand that. We want everyone, there's zero ads, no ads on it. No one's making any money off this. This is all
that's why we had the belief on our channel also, outside our products, and our courses, we don't have any ads on our channel.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love to have you join the Bitcoin Pub so that we can pump you and people can find you easier as a great resource for coin trading, and making money.
That was one of the other things that caused me to reach out to you, is because I look at, like if the guys that are serious about crypto because we're an investing channel. So we want to make sure that we bring people on that actually make money from crypto. Like we don't want,
I made a shit ton, guys.
No, yeah, you can't deny that when you're driving around in a new Lamborghini Huracan. So the thing is, we've seen, I was shocked because like when I go to the Bitcoin conferences, I've met other YouTubers before where they talk about making money from cryptocurrency investing and stuff, and then when I meet them. How like when you meet somebody, you talk to them stuff offline and stuff, and some of the shit that I hear them say, I'm like, man, there's no way this guy can make money from crypto, man. Because they,
can I let you in on a secret? Can I let you in on a secret? I have spent many years talking with different YouTubers offline, and I'll tell you, the vast majority of them don't invest. They just talk about the news or they talk about the ICOs. I mean, these guys make good money. Hey, that's their niche. I'm not hating on their niche.
No, but like,
but when it comes to pragmatically making money, I think this is where you're going. You can't just because their niche is news doesn't mean you can translate that to making good money in crypto.
Yeah.
Right. Their niche is just talking about the news or talking about ICOs. It doesn't translate to hey, you should follow this guy for crypto financial advice.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work that way. They actually don't invest.
Yeah, I ran across one clown one time, and he said that I called him clown because I felt like slapping the crap out of him, for saying what he said. We were just talking about it was just like a casual conversation, and he was saying that the something about the hedge funds, I forget what he said, but my response to him was that. Yeah, it's not that easy to, the problem with these hedge funds is that, it's a liquidity issue. Like, they need to, they're not coming in with 10 or 100,000 or $1 million. When they come in, they need to get some Ethereum. They need to get $10 million worth of it. They need millions of dollars. And he was like, yeah, that's no big deal. You just go to the exchange and get it. And I looked at him, I was like,
just go to Coinbase.
Have you ever tried to buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum before? And then he was like, no, but you just go to exchange and get it. I was like, no, it's not that simple. Like, or you try to buy $500,000 or $1 million worth, and he's like, yeah, just go to the exchange. Like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, no, you just don't go to Coinbase and just get $1 million worth of ethers, okay? You numbnuts.
You can't move that type of volume by yourself that easily.
And this guy's going around, telling people he understands how to trade and invest in crypto, and I'm like, man, just.
It's okay. But see, here's the thing, Ty. You know who you are. You know what you're good. You're an old man, just like me. I'm closer to 40 than anything else. I mean, you don't. You just ignore them. You just ignore them.
Like I would like, I'm not a software engineer, but if there was, I'd make some kind of certification software. Where let me see you buy $1 million worth of ethers, and see how long it takes you to do that. And then
absolutely.
If you start fumbling around, it's like you're not certified trader, man. Get your ass out of here.
I mean, and again, everyone has their own niche, except you're a businessman.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman, and we're in a different world.
Yeah.
We're in a different world, and I think your audience appreciates that. They appreciate your maturity. They appreciate your candor, your transparency. Kind of you're a fun dude to hang out with. I mean, I'm loving this. Yeah. We should do this more, frankly.
Yeah,
we should
sure.
do this
We'll
more.
come on your channel and do likewise, in return for y'all's channel too, So
done. You can come on my channel, absolutely, 100%. I'd love to pump you, man.
Yeah. So we, those are things that a lot of the stuff that we broadcast, we want to make sure that people don't. I wish that there was somebody that told us about it. Some of the stupid mistakes that we made. Like we watch. We watched some of these go up thousands of % and just sat there like a deer in headlights. In our early years, and like, is this for real? Like we literally sat there going, duh.
I know it's a crazy market,
coming from the stock market world, from the traditional stocks and futures and forex world, we come into this back. I remember back in 2013, me and Leon were like, "Is this for real?" When Bitcoin ran up, to $1,000, we were literally frozen like a deer in headlights.
I know. Those were moments. Those were moments that changed my life because I wasn't. And I've talked done other interviews and said this exact same thing. I mean, I did not believe that Bitcoin would be what it is today. Yeah. I had zero confidence in it. I was just a technologist who bought a lot of it and hoped that it would do something. Yeah. But I mean, it's been crazy.
I actually put my life savings into it, back in 2013,
Yo, you must be feeling good about that now, bro.
Fucking yeah, I feel good about it, man. What do you think?
Yo, the Bitcoin Maserati guys. The Bitcoin Maserati.
I mean, what do you think, man? You put your life, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to,
No, but truth be told, I mean, I gotta tell you the story. I had one of the roughest conversations a couple years back with my financial advisor, who's been with me for years. Yeah. And I finally went to him. I said, you know what? I need to cash out everything. He was like, oh my gosh, Peter, is there a problem? What's going on? Do you need money? Do you have financial issues? I was like, no, I want to cash out my traditional IRA, my Roth IRA. I want to cash out my mutual funds, my money market, which is basically bullshit. I want to cash out everything. He was like, you're going to take like 50% hit plus 10% on all this stuff. I was like, I don't care because I have made more money in the last month than I've made with you in 10 years. Yeah. And I mean, so you could say I'm a cryptocurrency purist in that regard. Yeah. I have zero investments in traditional methods. All of my long-term investments are all in Bitcoin. So you can call me a purist, whatever. But I mean, you can't dissuade me from the fact that Bitcoin's going to the moon because I invested when it was under $3. So you can't unconvince me. Man. That's not possible.
You can't. No? You can't undo. You're like. You're investing, your Bitcoin ideology is immutable, just like Bitcoin itself. It's not going to change.
It's not going to change. You could tell me all the stuff in the world. You could have me sit down with Jamie Dimon, and Jamie Dimon could sit me down and say, these are all the reasons why Bitcoin sucks. I'd be like, it's hard for me to swallow that because Bitcoin went from $2.52 to almost 6,000, and I'm doing quite fine.
Yeah. I remember this. I remember I came from a personal training background. Used to train athletes and
okay, cool.
So that was my that and teaching art was my specialty. Before I got into involved in trading, and I remember back when I was really young, I was training this. I was taking my clients to powerlifting competitions and everything, and I thought I was a good trainer. And so that's a preempt to something here. Okay, one day I was training my client and. At that time I had like 16.5-inch biceps, and I'm not bragging about it or nothing, okay? I'm just saying, next to me were these gangbangers, right?
Yo, who you hang out with, bro?
Yeah, man, when you grow up in the ghetto, you hang out with some very shady characters, I mean, I
like this is real talk.
I grew up where, I don't know if you heard of the rap group UGK, right? The Underground Kings?
Yeah. Sounds vaguely familiar, yeah.
It's funny because they talk about throwing people off the seawall and everything, and it's funny because they actually don't live there. I do. Like the rough neighborhoods in the areas that they were talking about,
That's me.
Yeah, like my dad had this philosophy that, hey, the property's cheap here. We had a machine shop at that time, and he's like, oh, the building is cheap here. Commercial property is cheaper. So, and I'm like, Dad, we're like the only non-black family living in a like 100% black neighborhood.
It's all
I don't have anything against black people. I love black people. You know what I'm saying? I love soul food. I love everything. But
it's a different culture.
Yeah, it's a different culture, and I was like, hey, Dad, we should like mix it up a little bit, the high school only has like 6 people that's not black, everybody else is black there,
That was like me. I was one of like 6 Asian people at my school. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, so, there's just, it was just messed up, man, but anyway, you asked me about, what the, how am I, working out with these guys, right? But anyway, we had these gangbangers, and they had like 21-inch, 22-inch arms. Now, for someone that doesn't work out, okay, 21-inch arms is like the size of my head. Look at my arm, and look at the size of this cabeza right here. It's like a basketball head right here. That's a huge difference when somebody's walking around with muscles the size of my head, arms the size.
For sure.
And I remember my client telling me that, hey, they were doing this bullshit tricep exercise, and my clients were like, man, what are they doing over there? And I'm like, the idiots don't know what the hell they're doing, And my client looked at me, he was paying me to train him to get bigger arms, and my client said something that completely changed my mind after that. He said, that they sure do have big arms for the stupid shit they're doing. And it's not just one guy either. There's a whole gang of them.
You can get wealthy doing stupid shit too.
Yeah, it made me think. It made me think, though. What I'm saying is that it made me think, like, you know what? He has a point there. I can say whatever I want. I can think whatever I think. But the fact is, I got 16.5-inch arms, while those guys over there got 21-inch arms and benching 500, 600 pounds.
Right. Absolutely, man.
And so one day, I went to the gym when there was nobody there. And I actually did the exercises they were those guys were doing.
It's okay. Everybody bites off each other, man.
Look. And what cracked me up was this, bro. What cracked me up was that I was doing it, and I was feeling it in my triceps. And I was like, holy shit. Like, this does work, except the only difference was that those guys didn't understand how human joints work and tendons and ligaments work. They were just like, straight just up, balls to the walls, just whatever works. Hey, it got bigger arms, everybody needs to do it. And their whole gang would just do that, right? Daddy. What is it, sweetheart? I can't do tattoo. You need a pee-pee? Okay, let me wrap this up real quick, okay, sweetheart?
Hey, it's all good.
So you understand,
I got
right?
it.
Okay, just real quick here, and I got to wrap it up to help her go pee-pee, right? We're trying to potty train her here, but I did it, and I was like, hey, you know what? They just don't understand that at this angle, it can tear up your elbow ligaments, but if you just move it slightly, you can still get the same effect without the injuries. Because they did have a lot of injuries, like elbow injuries. They had huge arms. And that just blew my mind, man. How big of a difference it made. So.
And what I think is a great thing to learn from that is that anyone in crypto can make money.
Yeah.
There are some methods, however, that are better than others.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you guys are doing, is that you guys have trained your crypto muscle for such a long time that, you can make money doing these stupid things or these stupid things, but sticking with someone who's seasoned, who has the experience like yourself, you guys can show them how to train the right way for the long-term value. Is that fair? That's the way
no, that's fair, because there are some, a few get-rich-quick, strategies that we can use, but we don't. Yeah, but we actually don't employ it or teach it to our coaching clients, because we want them to succeed long-term, even when the ICO boom and the crypto boom is over, that it still works.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
I'm curious about your trading, and I'm wondering whether there's an opportunity for me to test your trading, your trading methodologies and your trading frameworks of sorts, so that I can review them. And if I review them and it looks like it really works and it's great, I'm sure it has. I'm sure you have many testimonials from your clients. It would be easier for me to educate my viewers to say, hey, look, Ty and Leon, they got some legit stuff here.
Yeah, we can do some. I can share with you some.
I'd love to help out, man.
The research that we've done, we normally don't share with other people, but you're a data analytics scientific guy, so it would make sense. So we can quickly run through it, and I can.
And I already have enough money, and I'm not into trading.
Yeah, no, like it will make.
There's
sense.
no competition here.
Yeah, like whenever I tell people, like, I'm wrong 2/3 of the time, but I can still make money from it. People look at me like, how can you be wrong 2/3 of the time and still make money? I'm like, because
there's a method to it.
Yeah, there's a method to how probability works. The size of your winners are dozens of times bigger than the size of your losers. It's mathematically it works.
Absolutely, it's all about the math, guys. All about the math.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't want to hear that.
Everybody just wants to win.
Yeah.
Without the hard work.
Yeah, we're not here to win. We're here to make money. And that's if winning
I can dig it.
If winning only 20% of the time makes you more money than winning 90% of the time, I'd rather win 10% of the time. But psychologically, it's not easy for people to understand that.
But this because you've been in the game for so long that it takes mental fortitude and mental grit to stay in the game to make money.
Yeah.
You can't make, this is a bad analogy, but you can't make money in 3 months. But if you stay in the crypto game for 3 years, you'll make a shit ton of money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's what we tell people. We believe that cryptocurrencies is at 175 billion market cap right now as we speak, and we believe that it's going to go into the trillions. And even 100%. If it just goes to 1 trillion, it's almost like 5-6x from here.
Right? I will tell you, as a data scientist, it is statistically and mathematically imminent that it will happen. Yeah. So that's why I'm buying Bitcoin and I hold it.
And we want to make sure that our coaching clients capture that. Like, we don't want them to be screwing around, and then when it hits a 2 or 3 or $5 trillion market cap, that they didn't capture that gain. And so our goal is to make sure they capture that.
Let me ask you this question. 6 months ago, 6 months ago, did people tell you Bitcoin was too expensive to buy?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, check this out.
There you go.
So
there you go. Because Bitcoin was at like $1,000 6 months ago.
So check this out. I used to fly around the country to all the major cities and teach people and coach people how to trade stocks, options, forex, and futures. And I was telling my colleagues, like, I couldn't tell the students that I was coaching because that there's you can't be there's financial advisory laws and things like that. You can't say that. But to my personal friends and my trading buddies, I would tell them, I don't give a shit, man. Go put $1,000 into these Bitcoins, buy 10 of them, just hold it there if nothing else. And I was, and they thought I was nuts when I was telling them to buy Bitcoin at 100, 150, 200, 300.
I know. Same thing.
And now they're calling me up when it's over $5,000, asking me how to buy it. And the first question I ask them is,
why didn't you buy it?
No. Just tell me this, like, am I missing something here? I told you to get into Bitcoins when it was like 200, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And you said I was an idiot, and now you're calling me asking up to buy it, at 5,000.
5,000. I know. I'm right there.
I told you to put in $1,000 at $100. You didn't want to do it, and now you're telling me that you want to buy $100,000 at 5,000. Like what? Like how much sense does that make? But
it's okay. It's okay.
But
that's why we're merciful and graceful.
Yeah, but after I hammer them, guess what I tell them? Okay, here's how you go buy it.
Because you're a nice dude and you want them to win too. Yeah. You want them to make money too.
Yeah, so
I can dig it.
All right, man, let me wrap this up, man. And my daughter's standing here waiting for me to go help her Pepe, Hey, I appreciate you coming on to our show here, Peter, and let me know when you want us to come on, and, be happy to come over and share with you guys what we're doing, and
absolutely.
And where is do you have a Twitter handle? You want to just read out a bunch of the
so
stuff?
What's
the best way for people to follow you, because more than likely we're going to forget to put in the description. So just go ahead and do it right now so that people don't jump on my ass.
You guys can find me at Bite Size Bitcoin on Twitter, or you can go to bitesizebitcoin.com, which goes to my YouTube channel, or the best place to start is thebitcoin.pub, www.thebitcoin.pub. thebitcoin.pub. Go there. There's free resources. Not so much like what you guys are doing with Ty with trading. It's just to get you in the game. We want you in the game. We want you to buy your ticket to the big show. We want to make sure that you go to the moon. So thank you very much, Ty, for your time. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
And well, I'll have you send the all that stuff in a link also in the description where they need to go to start, the start page on the Bitcoin .pub, and that way I can put it in the description also.
Perfect.
Right? And
I appreciate it.
If you guys like these types of video where we bring on people that are successful in cryptocurrencies and have made life-changing profits and money in cryptocurrency, go to our channel. Go to www.cryptocurrency.market/
buy Dogecoin, yo. Buy Doge. Buy Doge. Buy Dogecoin,
I can't even stay
yo.
focused, man. Where the hell did you get that, man? Where the hell did you get the Doge mask from?
Buy Doge.
Dude.
Buy Doge.
Hey, the whole time I saw you doing that, I actually thought it was a Photoshop. I didn't realize it was a... Where the hell did you get the mask for that?
No, I found it online. No one could ever say that I don't pump Doge. I pump Doge more than anyone else. I even got the mask, guys.
You should send a link to that, man, because I might buy one too, man. Just for the hell of it.
Yo, I'll donate you one, man. I'll send you one.
Hey, I might go to Atlanta just to get it from you and drive around with you in the Lambo. Two guys in Doge masks. We'll probably get pulled over, man.
Yo, that would be so worth it. Yo, two guys in a... Oh,
Dude,
yo.
I'm going to talk to you offline about that, bro.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
So if you guys want more of these videos and follow me, go to www.cryptocurrency.market/newsletter, and this is where we make all the new videos and send it out. Okay, so www.cryptocurrency.market/newsletter, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So thanks for coming on, Peter. Let me cut this off, okay?
Appreciate it.
Let me see here.